CCA presents Medicare Marketplace Thursday, October 27th at Clubhouse 5 from 8:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. Learn about your Medicare rights, your transportation options. Stay up to date with Medicare changes through HICAP and Social Security. Talk to over 20 professional sponsors about your specific needs. Thursday, October 27th at Clubhouse 5. Just ask.
Well, coming up, the CCA, Community Civic Association, is going to be having their Medicare Marketplace. With us right now is Denny Welch, who of course facilitates that. And we also have a guest from Care Ambulance. You are the public relations representative, Justin Newton, right? Nice to meet you, sir.
Nice to meet you.
Denny, always good to see you.
Good seeing you, sweetie.
So first, overall, tell us about the Medicare Marketplace that's coming up. And I know there was an ad in the Globe.
Yes, there's an ad in the Globe. Basically, the whole reason for this year's marketplace is keeping your independence when your medical circumstances change, and which happened to me personally this past year, and because of that, I brought about some things that I feel are very important, and the people that are working with me, as you can see on the screen there, they all really care for the residents of Laguna Woods, and that and CARE is a good example of that, of really helping us promote this, because our residents have to know what to do and how to keep themselves independent when their medical circumstances change through and what are their Medicare rights.
Okay.
And what are their transportation options? How do they talk to the doctor? You know, and of course, Social Security and HICAP are invaluable.
Right.
So that's all about that. But I'd like to that is my reason, and I was asked Justin to give of what he felt that Medicare Marketplace was such an important event that he wanted to be an advertising sponsor in this program.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, I'd like to thank you guys for having us. At Care Ambulance, we like to take part in all of the communities that we serve in any way we can. The Medicare Marketplace event is important for the residents because it lets them know what their options are. They have rights and they have options, and a lot of times those options change year to year. So this event kind of lets the vendors go see what options they have. If they want to make a change, that would be the time to do so. Medicare can be very complicated and confusing at the same time when it comes to being covered, not covered, your benefits. In our case, ambulance transport tends to be covered for an emergency situation, but when it comes to being discharged from the hospital, not so much.
Okay.
So it's good to know when you're covered and when you're not, because you don't want to be stuck with a big bill at the end of the day.
And you brought up a good point there. If somebody is being discharged from the hospital and they find out they're not covered, then they have to choose, do I want an ambulance service to bring me home or just have a family member?
So we're working with the hospitals and retraining the staff in determining medical necessity. There's some criteria that need to be met to justify an ambulance.
Right.
So if that criteria is met, an ambulance is fine to go by.
Okay.
That's the hospital's responsibility. Ultimately, it comes down to them. They make the decision. The families and the patient may decide if the hospital says the patient is not medically necessary to go by ambulance. There are other options. If they're able to go by a taxi, if they're able to use the new rideshare apps available.
Okay.
At Care Ambulance, we're trying to be helpful also in that aspect. We have a concierge program available for these patients. They can request Care Ambulance concierge service, And instead of going through insurance and having that being denied, they can select the concierge program for a flat rate.
Okay.
And that's for your trips of going kind of across the street or just a couple miles.
Okay. Now, is that program something that they sign up for that's for the year or a month, or just that particular ride home?
The concierge program is a ride-by-ride basis.
Okay.
We have another membership program that is actually for the 911 aspect of the transport, going to the hospital, which is a once a year $63 per resident. So however many people live in the house, $63 covers them for the hospital ride, or the trip to the hospital for the whole year.
Okay, and let me ask you, is that through Medicare, or can anybody do that? What if somebody lives here and they're younger, they're not on Medicare yet, they just have their regular, whatever their insurance
So
may be?
at this point, this program is designated for Medicare Advantage patients.
Okay.
It's also for the patients, there may be people that don't have any insurance whatsoever.
Okay.
It's a senior program.
Okay.
So basically you have to meet the criteria to be on Medicare to qualify for this program, but this does not go through Medicare.
Okay.
So this is a membership.
It doesn't go through them at all then?
No, we would bill the insurance company a minimal bill instead of a full ambulance bill.
Okay.
Which is the benefit of the program.
Okay.
Because without the program, they can be stuck at the end of the day. Insurance may pay 80%, the patient's stuck with 20%, depending on the size of the bill. Okay.
Now, are there some Medicare Advantage programs that the ambulance ride is included, no matter what, 100%?
There are.
Okay.
There are. Good point. There are patients that get free rides to the hospital because they're Medicare, Medi-Cal patients.
Okay.
Or they may have some combination that covers 100% of the ambulance bill. Those patients, this program doesn't work out for.
Okay.
And we actually have billing specialists on hand because there's so many different options out there now.
Yeah.
They're welcome to call our billing specialists anytime and just kind of run by what type of insurance they have. And our billing specialist will tell you straight out, this program won't benefit you if it's not going to be any benefit to you, because we really don't want to take your $63 if you're already getting the free rides. The idea is to help the community out and show them some value.
Okay.
And that's what Cynthia Connors is going to be talking about too, are the other transportation options. So which is all in there to help the residents.
Right, exactly.
In getting there. Then when I first came home from the hospital, I had to go to the doctor, so I had to have my caregiver take me. Well, that was $69 for a round trip to the doctor's office.
Yeah.
And so that's a little bit steep.
Yeah, it is.
So you know and that's what Cynthia is working on through the city, and Justin is working on through the ambulance service, so that the two of them are working together. It's a good combination.
Now, what about, I see here that you can help, Care Ambulance can help on a non-emergency basis.
So I think what you're referring to is what they call a back-to-bed service.
Okay.
And the way it used to work was if Denny were to fall out of bed in the middle of the night, she's unable to get up herself. What they used to do was call the ambulance company directly, and we would just send the ambulance out and help the patient back to the bed.
Okay.
Give
now,
them
when
a
you
basic
say they,
assessment.
you're talking about the 911.
The ambulance. Actually, not the 911.
Okay.
So the way it used to be was they would call the ambulance directly, and we would send an ambulance out. No lights and sirens, just in there, scoop the person up, help them back in bed, assess them, make sure they're fine. Now, the 911 dispatchers and the fire department would like those calls to go through them. So you would call 911 in these circumstances, and the dispatcher will determine whether only the ambulance is going to go out or if the fire department needs to go out based on what the person on the phone tells them.
Okay. All right. Very good. So again, the Medicare Marketplace is happening on October 27th. At 8:30 to 1 o'clock. Clubhouse 5. And do you need to pre-register, or can people just drop by?
No, I hope that people will come, and we've got we just started a new coffee bar with all kinds of good goodies.
Okay.
Muffins and bear claws and things like that, and the small ones.
All right.
So I hope that you can come.
All right.
I'm sure with the food that you will enjoy it.
Yes. All right. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Thanks for having me.
Good seeing you, Dan.
Thank you.
Take care. We will be right back. And again, remember, Medicare Marketplace, October 27th at Clubhouse 5, 8:30 to 1 o'clock. We'll be right back.
CCA presents Medicare Marketplace, Thursday, October 27th at Clubhouse 5 from 8:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. Learn about your Medicare rights, your transportation options. Stay up to date with Medicare changes through HICAP and Social Security. Talk to over 20 professional sponsors about your specific needs. Thursday, October 27th at Clubhouse 5. Just ask.